Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council on Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Here.
Mr. Coghill? Ms. Gross? Mr. Mosley?
Here.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Here.
Mrs. Warwick? Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Here.
6 members present.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Thank you. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Our next order of business is proclamations. We'll begin with Councilwoman Smith.
And can we have the folks for Catholic Schools Week come forward, please? The person for Catholic Schools Week, please come forward. Yeah, come soon, right here. Stand right here.
Good morning.
It seems odd, every year we do this proclamation, and we do it with Michelle Peduto. And so we want to still, make sure that we still remember the work that she's also done for Catholic schools over the years. And she passed away about a year ago. In August. She passed away in August, and so she's missed throughout the Catholic schools and here in council. Whereas the 51st Annual National Catholic Schools Week will be celebrated from January 26th to February 1st. It actually was celebrated, and I will say we're delayed because of scheduling and weather conflicts. Highlighting the enduring impact of Catholic education in the Diocese of Pittsburgh and reflecting on the theme, Alive in Christ, exploring how we exist for one another. And whereas during this special week, Catholic schools across the city come together to highlight the strong values of faith, service, and academic excellence, creating opportunities for students, families, parishioners, and the community members to reflect on the meaningful contributions of Catholic education. And whereas Catholic schools boast a remarkable record success with 99% of students graduating, 86% move on to a four-year college, and countless alumni going on to become leaders in their communities. This is made possible by the dedication of educators who teach with passion and instill strong moral and academic foundations. And whereas these schools are more than places of learning, they are vibrant communities where faith, integrity, and compassion are at the heart of everything they do, guiding students to become responsible citizens and compassionate leaders. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and commends the Catholic schools in the Diocese of Pittsburgh for their commitment to nurturing the minds, hearts, and spirits of their students, empowering them to lead with faith and purpose. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare January 26th to February 1st, 2025 to be Catholic Schools Week in the City of Pittsburgh.
And we have a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Lauren Martin. I am the new superintendent of Catholic schools for the Diocese of Pittsburgh. I was able to work with Michelle Peduto for her entire tenure, and I am just blessed to be a part of an organization that works so well within the city of Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and Western Pennsylvania to partner with all of the leaders and making sure that we have children that are going to be bright stars in our future. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll take a photo right here, right next to us. And I'll just say that we do have one Catholic school in all of District 2, and it is Bishop Canevin High School, where Gino Palmasina, who worked in our office and now works in our pension office, graduated from. Does everyone want to come forward for the photo? So you know the excellence they produce, because he's a great guy. Oh, I don't care about all those. He's going to name them all.
It doesn't take
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Looking forward to working with you. Now, I know a lot of people want to come up for this proclamation, but I've known this guy probably for 30 years or so. I met him when our kids went to, my son was in school, and he volunteered everywhere. I mean, he was just an amazing man, a great mentor. Brother Mel, you want to come forward? And I'll say Mayor Gainey and I disagree on a lot of things. The one thing we agree on is Brother Mel. So he's an amazing person. What district do you live in? Whose district? Kahari. You want to come up, Kahari?
Come on, Terry and Derek, come on, y'all come on.
Everybody come up, whoever wants to be up here for. Anybody who wants to come up for Brother Mel, come forward. When I'm done reading the proclamation, you all want to come up, okay? See how great he is. Do you want to read part of it? Look over the part you want to read.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for inviting me up.
I apologize for not doing it sooner. I didn't know where he lived.
Oh, no worries. Whereas Melvin Hubbard L., Brother Mel, is a dedicated educator and committed community servant who served as senior community advisor to the Honorable Ed Gainey, Mayor of Pittsburgh. He served 8 years as Chief of Staff to then State Representative Edward C. Gainey for the 24th Legislative District of the Pennsylvania State General Assembly. And whereas Melvin played a key role, in initiatives to improve community well-being, including helping create the Greater Father Involvement Act, signed into law by Governor Tom Wolf in November of 2022. He is a founding member of the Fatherhood Movement in Western Pennsylvania and serves as the executive director of the Coalition for Fathering Families. And whereas Brother Mel has served the Pittsburgh Public School District in many roles, including as an educator during the annual Take a Father to School Day Committee, Student Voices Leadership, We Promise mentoring program, and Mr. L is a 16-year volunteer in the Pittsburgh Public School District with Shinley High School, Pittsburgh Obama High School, and his beloved Pittsburgh Westinghouse High School Marching Band. His most recent involvement was the establishment of the City of Pittsburgh School District Pittsburgh One Band, One Sound, All City Marching Band in 2023.
Thank you. Melvin serves on various nonprofit boards and has received numerous recognitions for his service to Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and Pennsylvania. A proud member of the Westinghouse High School Wall of Fame. Boy, that Westinghouse is coming up an awful lot. And he earned his bachelor's degree in social science from Clarion University. He taught at Penn Circle Community High School in the 1980s. Pittsburgh's first public alternative high school. Melvin holds certificates in restorative justice, meditation, conflict resolution, and manhood, fatherhood development. And whereas he lives in the lower East Hills with his wife Kathy and attends the Moorish Science Temple of America. Mel and his wife Kathy have 2 children together, Kush and Primera. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh acknowledges and commends Brother Mel for his unwavering commitment to community development, his passion for creating social impact, and his dedication to making a positive difference in the lives of others. And be it further resolved, want to say it together?
And be it further resolved
That the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, February 25th, 2025 to be Brother Mel Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we're joined by Mayor Gainey. Mayor Gainey, great hire. Do you want to come up and say a few words, please?
Thank you, Councilwoman McHale. There ain't too much more I can really say. I think I said it all before. I always tell people that you don't find too many people that got the beauty in them that Mel got. You don't find too many people that, you know, they give just because that's what they do, not what they're required to do. And Mel has just been a father figure in my life. You know, he's one that I could always go to when times got hard or when I wasn't sure what to do. He was always that guiding rod. He always gave me advice that helped me get to the next level. And, you know, I never had to worry about nothing when I was out of town in Harrisburg or anything like that. And just the way that he gives back to the children is just amazing because, you know, a lot of these kids, you know, they don't really have father figures. And to have someone that doesn't mind being a father figure to a community goes a long way in helping the mother out, you know, helping grandma out. It's just a different level. And I don't know what he's going to do now, you know, because Mel would be here till 10 o'clock at night working. And I used to say, man, you in your 70s and you're here to 10 o'clock and I can't, you know, imagine me being in my 70s being at work anymore. I want to be on the beach with a pina colada or something. But Mel would be here till 10 and get here at 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's just a phenomenal commitment to humanity. So there's not too much more I can say, but just thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you for demonstrating to this city and everybody else what a strong man looks like. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Gainey. Do you want to say anything? Anybody over there? No? Yeah. Chrisera, come up here. You can come right here. I'll sit down. I got two bad knees.
About Brother Mel. Congratulations. You're welcome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chrisera Johnson. I started with the Gainey administration in February after the mayor got elected. And Brother Mel and I started on the same day, my first time meeting him. But I will say that his presence was energetic, and he said he was first one in, last one out, and that was the energy he carried throughout his entire time serving the administration through the city of Pittsburgh, or serving the city of Pittsburgh through the administration. Brother Mel has always been a sound voice of reason. He has always been just that wisdom that you needed in the time of uncertainty, and the encouragement that you need in order to continue to move forward. And I appreciate Brother Mel and his stewardship and his dedication to the community, his family, and the children of Pittsburgh. Brother Mel, I know that Pittsburgh is so much better because you, and thank you for all that you have done for us, and, you know, taking me under your wing in such a short time. I just always appreciate you. So thank you.
Anybody else want to say anything? Brother Mel, did you talk? Miss Brown first. Wait, keep it positive, Miss Brown, okay?
I didn't bogart my way up here. Brother Mel told me that I could come. I've been knowing Brother Mel for years. He had a program, Father to Son program, and that program is where the fathers would actually talk to the daughters. They even had a program where the fathers would take their daughters to a dance. Brother Mel is fine. I mean, I really love him, and I know he cares about the children. But Brother Mel don't know about the procedures here in council. When I say that they're supposed to, your rules are that you're supposed to start at 10:30. If you don't start at 10:30,
Okay, Ms. Brown,
if you don't start at 10:30, if you don't. Now, wait a minute. Come on now. I should be able to speak if I'm telling you the truth, and if you don't know the procedures. Brother Mel knows if they don't start by 10:30, it's supposed to be scrapped. He said, well, wait a minute, we got to get a quorum first. No, it's because you don't have the quorum. But Brother Mel, I told you I was going to tell everybody. You just have a nice day.
Let me just say this. When I knew Brother Mel about 30 years ago, he was always so positive. And one of the people I used to watch all the time, I hated city council, I hated politics, I didn't pay attention. But I'd watch Miss Brown tear us apart, and I loved it back then. Now on this end, I'm like, oh God. One day I'm gonna thank you for it, but I'm not again, not too soon. And everyone wanna come forward for the photo? Everyone from over there wanna come forward for the photo? Oh, Brother Mel, you wanna say a few words first? I'm sorry, I apologize. He's so humble, I forget. Thank you so much. No, say whatever you want. This is your time.
First, I want to rise and give honor to Allah and His holy divine prophet, noble Jawali reincarnated, and all the wonderful works He's brought on to me and into my life. That is my source of inspiration, spiritual guidance. Without the principles that have been instilled in me of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, I would have not been able to work 48 years and be able to stand here and say that today. One of the things this journey has taught me, how people feel about me and the work that I've done. And aside of all the work that I've done, one thing I would love to change and one thing I really regret is the time that it took away from my family in doing this work. Though I thought I did a good job as a father, but I could have done a better job as a father. And so that has taken a toll, and as adult children now, we have conversations about it. And rightfully so. And as adult children, we have family discussions about it, and rightfully so. But one thing I can say is that I love my family, love my children, and I love the idea of the sacrifice that they gave to give me the opportunity to do this work. One of the things I also want to mention is that I want to thank City Council, the Mayor's Office, and when I think about Councilwoman Carol Smith, we do go back quite a ways. Also, Ms. Brown, we go back quite a few ways. She was our juicer in our program at the time, and so she made some good juice that kept me healthy for a moment in my time, because as Brother Mike knows, I love the donuts, so the juicer came in handy. But the thing I wanted to stress more so than anything else is that this has taught me that one person can make a difference. And if we all make a difference, then we're making a big difference in the world. When man honors man, he honors Allah. And what man does for man, he does for Allah. And so by the fact of you give me this recognition today and all the things that have been said, you're recognizing the Father of the universe, the great God of the universe, and I appreciate that very much. The last thing I'd like to say is that retiring for me was a real process. My wife's been retired 4 years now, going on 5 years, and so we've had very interesting conversations leading up to the December 31st of 2024. But what I learned from that is that you know when it's time, and God to believe it was time. So I'm happy with the decision. I'm at peace where I'm at, and I look forward to doing something in the next chapter of my life. Being down here at City Hall was just an honor. Having an opportunity to work with all of you council members was truly a blessing. I just can't say who had that experience, but I certainly did. And going from District 1 up to District 9, starting with Brother Wilson over here and ending up with Brother Kahari, it's been an honor, and I look forward to continue to have some sense of work and purpose. I want to thank Renee Aldridge. I got a little, how would you call it? I call it senior moments. Anyway, Renee Aldridge for coming. We've done a lot of things. Derek Buckner, I met him when I was volunteering for Shinley's band. And Derek was playing, he was a clarinet specialist, and he was doing the things for the sax players and the clarinet players at that time. Brother Terry Smith over here, I've been rocking with him for quite a few years and still feel what he does in Pittsburgh does not get the title recognition that it needs. And I'm glad to have my oldest niece with me this morning. She can tell you stories that will tell you about the other part of my life. But anyway, I'm glad she's here with me. And when I look out and see Brother Mike Gay, he was a Arsenal 6th grade student of mine when I was teaching back in the day. And now we see him there. And Brother Carey, getting to know him over these 3 years, he's a phenomenal brother. Sister Sydney, another remarkable member of the administration, does great work. And Sister Pam, what can I say? I certainly had an opportunity to work with you at the state when I was with Ed Gainey, And being down these last 3 years, you've certainly been a strong ally and support. And L'Oreal, what can I say? We go back to the state days, and she's always been in my corner and always had my back. And Cressera, since the day I met you, we clicked like peanut butter and jelly, because peanut butter and jelly is my favorite sandwiches. So appreciate that very much. So other than that, I'm just grateful. I don't know what to say sometimes. The senior activity center out in Homewood kicked this whole retirement off, and to come and have a surprise celebration in the mayor's conference room knocked me out. And then to go out to CA and have a community celebration put me further on the canvas. And then the community got together and said, hey, we're not finished. We want one more. And they did, and that was tremendous. And so today, it's just almost, like I said, icing on the cake. The only thing left, and I've heard word at the last celebration, I won't get off the mic here before y'all drag me out of here like vaudeville days, is that Representative Latasha Mays, office director, was at the last celebration, and he announced that the proclamation they did for me at that time was just not the correct one. So sometime this year they're going to bring me to Harrisburg and give me the correct one. So I'm just really floored, and I didn't want to sit down without saying thanks to Brother Jacob, too. I tried you got some good pictures, Jacob. You know me, I like to take pictures, so I hope you got some for me. He's such a talent as well, and I'm so glad I had an opportunity to work with him. And that's all, folks. I guess I'm going to sit down and be quiet. Thank you very much.
Do you all want to come up for the photo? I do want to say that part of the importance of the proclamations that City Council does is we save these proclamations in our vault, and now everything's being digitized, all our records, so people will look up and see that you're part of Pittsburgh's history forever. And if ever there should be somebody part of Pittsburgh's history forever, it's Brother Mel. So I'm glad that we can preserve that for you. Everyone want to join us? You guys want to come up? No, we'll send them. Morning. Come on. No? Mike Gay, you better get up here. I don't care who you think you can take. I know, they're not coming up. Tell Mike.
Say, come on, Brother Mike. He won't listen.
I've known him for 30 years, too. 25.
It'd be nice.
I met him with the Garfield game.
Carrie, you ain't coming either?
Thank you, Brother Mel, for everything you did. Here, wait, take one with just him and his friends, too, without councilman. Is that okay? Well, you can stay your friend.
First, real quick, before everyone disperses.
Why wouldn't you with your family and friends?
All right, let's Jacob get his first.
Okay.
Yep. If I get everyone look over here real quick for me. All right. Ready, 3, 2, and 1. All right, now one for Brother Mel and his phone. Ready, 3, 2, and 1.
That was nice. That's nice.
Okay, no problem.
And Councilman Charlin, whenever you're ready.
All right. So it's a good morning of proclamations for us. I get the honor of doing a proclamation for Maria and Maria's ideas. You probably know of them if you've ever driven into my district. If you drive up 18th, right there on the corner there, it's the bright, happy building as you go into Mount Oliver, right on Arlington Avenue. And I had the opportunity to meet and visit with them a little bit before, and I'm just so overjoyed that I get to do a proclamation that is long overdue here for Maria. So I'll read the proclamation real briefly here, and then I think other people have got a couple of words they want to say. All right, so whereas Maria DeSimone Prosick, a native Southside resident and an integral member of Pittsburgh's community, has been leading Maria's Ideas since 1982, which is located in Jono's Art Studio at 1705 Arlington Avenue in the Southside slopes of Pittsburgh. That's that colorful building I was talking about. And whereas Maria produces various types of art in a broad array of diverse mediums, including custom paintings, house portraits, wall art, murals, and all the way to rhinestone airbrush jackets, one of which was worn by former Mayor Sophie Masloff at a downtown parade. And whereas Maria offers free community painting events and spends hours of her free time guiding and mentoring others, is a positive role model for countless individuals, and is consistently unafraid to take on creative challenges. Whereas Maria's art has made a huge mark in Pittsburgh and in the surrounding areas, Maria has produced over 450 feet of custom murals and art, including Sarah's Candies in Canonsburg, the Pittsburgh Zoo, and the National Aviary. And whereas Maria has completed a wide variety of projects beneficial to the Pittsburgh community, including in 2024 when she designed and painted 15 areas at the newly renovated Zoe Atrium at the UPMC Western Psych Hospital in Oakland with murals and positive quotes. And whereas Maria has a withstanding impact on Pittsburgh sports, including designing and teaching numerous paint classes for the Pittsburgh Penguins, as well as teaching classes and corporate painting events for PPG Paints, and was recently hired by Mrs. Rooney to create a live painting for the Steelers' Wives event to begin the season. And whereas Maria routinely engages in meaningful volunteer work, such as painting classes at Little Sisters of the Poor in Brighton Heights for the elderly since 2015 and the National Aviary since 2017, as well as producing and teaching painting on her Greater Pittsburgh Media Awards winning Bethel Park cable TV show, which I'm going to be on here soon. And whereas Maria has been featured in countless local magazines, newspapers, and online, including Pittsburgh Today Live, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the Tribune Review, Pittsburgh Magazine to recognize her amazing local achievements. And now therefore be it resolved in recognition of the social impact of Maria DeSimone Prosick and Maria's Ideas for the residents of Pittsburgh, that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare February 25th, 2025 to be Maria's Idea Days in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
Second. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Maria, would you like to say a couple words here?
Thank you. Wow, I'm tired just listening and all that. Well, thank you all for this special honor. I would like to say that I'm a very proud Pittsburgher and just give you a little background of how deep my roots are here in Pittsburgh. My father's father immigrated here from Italy, and they moved to what was considered the Lower Hill District, where the Civic Arena was. That's where he grew up. My mother's side from Czechoslovakia, and my grandparents met on the steps at St. Matthew's Church in the South Side. They all moved to the South Side slopes. My father owned Dan's Mobile Gas Station, where Engine 22 is right now in your district, in the gas station there. And then he also worked through the city. He had URA contracts. He did a lot of work, Daniel DeSimone Contracting. So I started my business in '82. That was his office. I graduated from high school In '82, I was also told by my counselor, you will never make it as an artist. He said, you'll have to learn to type and be a secretary. And I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not my jam, you know. So I started my business, I was 19, in my dad's construction office, and the Windows salespeople and people coming in started buying my greeting cards that I had on the bulletin board, which is still there 43 years later. And fast forward, former Richard Mayor Caligari, his wife Jeannie Caligari was a very good customer of mine, so that's a connection to this building also. She used to get cards made all the time, and then Sophie Maslow came up with her huge security guard, and they threw the jacket in the trunk. Like, I was like, people across the street gonna wonder what we're doing over there, you know. So that was interesting. She wore it in a parade. And I've had to evolve a little with what I'm doing because of injury to my hand or what the market wanted, or I would just get bored and kind of want to just go a little different direction. But because of Pittsburgh being this special, unique, diverse place, like a big town and a small town all together, I've been able to stay here. My business is a quarter mile from where I grew up. The house we renovated and restored was the house I was afraid of when we were kids to walk past it, next to the cemetery, which is only 3 blocks from where my grandfather lived. I mean, I just stayed in this little community, and not only did I succeed, and I'm still working at it, it's growing and changing, and that's because of the people of Pittsburgh. If I didn't have the customers and the people in Pittsburgh and the diversity and the people coming from all over, especially now, I wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful for this wonderful place to live. Our studio's at the top of 18th Street, so we can get north, south, east, west. I'm constantly, forever, and my husband Jono also is a well-known artist here, we're always promoting and sticking up for the city. You know, a lot of the people we grew up with moved to the suburbs, and that's fine too, but why they always act like someone is forcing us to stay here and forced us to buy our home and keep our roots there. And I just love it. I love everything about it. I go out to sweep my walk or pick up litter, and I'm waving to people. I'm meeting new people. I have grandparents, their great grandkids are customers. I've had 4 generations of people that are still my customers. It's the people. You know, if the people weren't as they are, I don't know that I would be as excited to live where I do, and it's all the connections. We're all connected. And I would like to take this opportunity to ask you guys to keep the arts and music in Pittsburgh as you do. I've seen more and more. It's fantastic. We need more than ever. And I've had the ability to teach and connect with and partner with a lot of different organizations in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has so many different special community organizations and nonprofits, the Hilltop Alliance, the National Aviary. 2 of people were here from the National Aviary. I met my husband there in 1988 and with the Flamingos, and have since then been teaching their classes, working with the National Aviary. But Pittsburgh has so much to offer. Also, I want to say my very dear cousin, who was like a brother to mine, Timothy O'Connor, was commander of Zone 5. So I have so many connections that I could just go on, but you know how we're all connected. If you talk to someone in Pittsburgh long enough, you're connected somehow. And that's what I love about it. I love the people at our studio. In the course of a day, someone will come in that I knew from 40 years ago. Oh, I have a card of yours, I still have it. To someone there are a lot of people now coming here from Philadelphia, Chicago, and Colorado. Not sure why, but they're all in our studio all the time, every week. So whatever you guys are doing to get people to come to Pittsburgh, it's working. They're all coming. We're the old people on the street now. We were the young people that bought the house. And anyway, I just love it here. I'm grateful. I'll be here forever as long as my eyes and hands are working. I'll be doing artwork, and anything I could do to promote the city, I do, and same with my husband, Jono. And we just love it, and thank you guys for keeping the city thriving, and I think we have a little bit more to go yet, but it's getting there, you know, so thank you. I appreciate it. So, and I would like my sister Donna, who's always supported me, my wonderful family, and my husband Jono, and Randy, and Ted from the National Aviary to come up and join me. They're a big part of my life, too. So, thank you.
You guys want to come up?
Yes, I do. Even the chief of police and Bethel. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stand up here with Carl, sure, so I can look tall. Well, maybe not quite.
Art music. Yeah. Say, I was always many sculptors in Pittsburgh, you know, it's amazing work, I love his work. Congratulations. Love it, just love it, yep, keep the arts.
And we have one to be read in for the record from Councilman Charlin.
Councilperson Bob Charlin presents, "Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and celebrate the 20th anniversary of the South Side Soup Contest, honoring his contributions to the community and looking forward to many more years of success."
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we have one will of council.
Councilman R. Daniel Lavelle presents, "Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare its support for naming of a terminal at the Luis Munoz Marin International Airport in Puerto Rico as the Terminal 21 Roberto Clemente in honor of Roberto Clemente."
And may we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The will of council has been approved. Our next order of business will be public comment. I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which may be before city council. Profanity will not be permitted. Once you are called, please restate your name, provide your neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Oakland. I'm a member of the American Physical Society, the American Chemical Society, the American Mathematical Society, Global Intelligence Society candidate for President 2028, and the founder in 1999 of the Center for Global Studies International Interdisciplinary, which is a corporation in Pennsylvania, 2A31602. Concerns of council include the gravity of the Lex math expertise of the Pittsburgh Public School children, and science. This is consistent with my initiative for the city and country, local, national, children first. February 2025 for us, according to the Global Intelligence Society's sponsorship of African Intelligence Month. Internationalist, interdisciplinarian Dr. Sylvester James Gates Jr. is a U.S.-American male person of black African descent. He's a physicist, mathematician, musicologist. He's an exemplar, an educator at, I think, genius level African intelligence, general intelligence, whom the PPS children, the council honors, I've asked them, they know nothing about it. He stands to say no to Votech for them and for many, and yes, for himself, to high tech. He graduated with a PhD in physics from MIT. $500,000 he spent, or others did for him. He recognizes the gravity of the situation of intel, low-level performance by students across the United States with particular interest he has in black kids. He does a lot of work on gravity and supersymmetry. That's what his specialization is. And gravity is the 6.67 times 10 to the minus 11 meters cubed per kilogram squared. That's the general gravity principle. Another interdisciplinary internationalist is Dr. Dorothy Phillips. I held up her picture. She is a biologist, chemist, anti-bio person who graduated from the University of Cincinnati, and she is now the president of the American Chemical Society. Her PhD was the study of the conformation of the protein coat of the single-stranded RNA virus R17 using a circular dichromism spectroscopy. What an exemplar she is, and he is.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Linda McCullough. Is Linda McCullough with us? If not, that exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Provide your name and neighborhood for the record. You'll also be given 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live at 715 Mercer Street. That's at the top of Bedford Avenue. The Pittsburgh Courier has that the Salem Market in the Hill District closes, but for how long? I know another community, it's a senior, she came to me and she was saying, Yvonne, you know what? All that they said is closing because that they were stealing the food. Well, she said it wasn't us black people. They only hired us part-time and they didn't have any benefits. They said that the woman, allegedly, she said you could see them carrying boxes of food out. That was the employees, not black employees, because as I said, they only hired him part-time. Now, also, I came down to tell you that I've already talked to Mr. Wood, my councilman's aide, that if something happens to me in that building, if I get hurt or I get killed, he's made a promise that he will do a proclamation so that the building will be named Yvonne F. Brown, not Kaylee Roy Irvis, if I get killed. I want you to understand, I've come down and I've told you about this domestic terrorist, Rashida McKinley. She's back in the building. We had a meeting with Arbor, and when the representative came from Arbor, my daughter was standing there and she stopped her. She said, we came up to you in 2022 about Rashida McKinley. She is following me. She is threatening me. When I go to the manager, you know what the manager, I said, I'm afraid of her. Oh, don't say that. Then I said, she's saying things to me. Well, the manager with her big breast, she threw him up in the air and said, she don't talk to me like that. Well, she did come, and she attacked the manager. They heard her say, what did you say to my mother? And then when they went to go in there, she had the manager by her neck. This is what the citizens were telling me. But the manager with them big breasts was able to throw her down, and she was hollering, get her off of me, get her off of me. The manager said, I did not hit her. I'm just restraining her. When we called the police, because I got off the elevator early in the morning because I sweep, and she's got her head covered up in glasses, and she gets off and she says, yes, it's me. Go tell your daughter I'm in the building, call the police. And the policeman came, you know what he said? Arbor is dropping the ball. Arbor, how can she keep coming in? She's trespassing. I've been there for 10 years, 5 years. She's been coming. She says as long as her mother lived there, she's coming. The policeman even said Petite dropped the ball. Do you understand? There's going to be a body. Someone's going to get killed, and I hope it's not me. If
Thank
it
you
is,
very much.
name the building after me.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown. Next speaker, please.
Special Agent Sunshine. Ooh, that's a hard act to follow. I return to sender any voodoo hexes, curses sent towards me, 100 million, billion, trillion, googolplex. And Lord, whoever sent it, throw them into a lake of fire. Let me pray. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of my voice. You have me using it not only to praise and worship you, but also in spirit and truth. I will forever praise your name, no matter what people say or try to do to me. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, Lord, for your unconditional love. Your promise to supply me with all of my needs through your riches and glory in Christ. Thank you for using me as a vessel to do your will, which is to tell people of the world to love each other, you and our enemies. Thank you for every corrupt government official, especially library employees, who are being bribed with money to be cyber bullies and hackers, evading the privacy of the public and stealing from them. Proverbs 17:23 says, "The wicked accept bribes in secret to pervert the course of justice." Thank you to the corrupt judges and lawyers signing off on illegal guardianships, illegal conservatorship, and falsifying documentation to change identities and genders to steal from any and everybody. You will be brought to justice by force by the Most High God in Jesus' name. Psalm 52, chapter 52, verse 6 through 7 says, "The righteous will see and fear. They will laugh at you, saying, 'Now here is a man who did not make God his stronghold, but trusted in his great wealth and grew strong by destroying others.'" God created me for a reason. He renamed me Sunshine to shine a light on this perversion of justice by our government. You guys, y'all have to stop. People are getting sick and dying. Here's God's message. Who's going to be next? He's not playing with y'all. He does not play about his children. He is faithful. When he says he's going to take care of us and protect us, he's faithful. That's the only reason why I'm standing here, is because of his faithfulness. Throughout this whole ordeal in my story, I'm still standing here. Regardless of how much voodoo you do, it doesn't work on righteous, chosen healers in this world who have come here to change it for the better. And you guys will be removed in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, I'm Bernadette from Beachview. Usually I have something prepared, but in the past several weeks since January, we all know the date, I'm seeing something really frightening. This is not a Democrat versus a Republican crisis in our country, locally, state. This is a dictatorship versus democracy. And if we don't get out of the shock stage, which I think a lot of people are in right now, if we don't get ourselves out of that and act and get this younger generation activated, us hippies can't do everything. There's going to be a big change, but I also challenge everybody in this building to watch your staff, because a lot of us, it's evident that there's a lot of Democrats, Republicans in a Democrat's sheep clothing. And you need to better vet what you already have in your offices, because they're sabotaging. They've sabotaged past. I've seen it. I watched and listened to it again today, and it's jarring. I was stopped from signing the petition for your election in the county seat in front of a room full of people. Anyway, we all need to pull together. And we also have to remind people that during the primaries, if you're independent or green, you cannot vote. The independent, the Greens, and the non-voters put him there. Thank you. Have a good day. Oh, and by the way, that cough drop, I put that there a year ago, and it's still there. It's on your podium.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Seeing no further speakers, we'll turn to the presentation of papers, beginning with Councilman Charlin, Chair of Human Resources.
Good morning, Mr. President. That's fine.
Councilperson Robert Charlin presents Bill 1529, Resolution amending Resolution Number 655 of 2023, entitled Resolution Authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service to enter into a professional services agreement and/or contracts with Pittsburgh Event Childcare for professional services in connection with on-site childcare being provided to City of Pittsburgh employees during the days that school is not in session. Additionally, off-site childcare will be provided for those attending community events sponsored by the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services and providing for payment of the cost thereof by increasing the total amount not to exceed $45,000 for a new total cost not to exceed $90,000. And Bill 1530, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service to enter into an intergovernmental cooperation agreement or agreements with the County of Allegheny and Partner for Work for the shared operation and administration of the Learn and Earn Summer Youth Employment Program for calendar years 2025 through 2027 at no additional cost to the city.
And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Anthony Coghill presents Bill 1531, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into a clinical affiliation agreement with Community College of Allegheny County to enact a precepting program allowing students to learn professional skills from city employees in the Bureau of Emergency Medical Services for training and educational purposes at zero cost to the city.
And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
Papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. And Councilman Mosley, Chair of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cale Smith, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Teresa Cale Smith presents Bill 1559, Resolution authorizing an extension of the term of the Acting Chief of Police for 90 additional days, effective March 3rd, 2025.
And Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilperson Erica Strasburger presents Bill 1532, Resolution amending Resolution 603 of 2024, authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Fisher Phillips LLP for legal services in connection with issues involving labor disputes by increasing the cost by $150,000 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $210,000 and adding 1 year for a new contract term of 2 years. Bill 1533, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant for Dickey McCamey and Chilcote, P.C., for expert legal services in connection with a litigation matter in the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $54,082.90 over 1 year. Bill 1534, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Comer Miller LLC for expert legal services in connection with a litigation matter in the U.S. District Court of the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $35,109 over 1 year. Bill 1535, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Summers, McDonnell, Hudock, Guthrie, and Roche, P.C., for expert legal services in connection with a litigation matter in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $41,590 over 1 year. Bill 1536, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the Major Cities Chiefs Association in an amount not to exceed $7,500 for payment of annual member dues. Bill 1537, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the U.S. Marshals Service in an amount not to exceed $8,900 to return seized funds. Bill 1538, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms in an amount not to exceed $9,220 to return seized funds. And Bill 1539, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the U.S. Marshals Service in an amount not to exceed $6,428 to return seized funds.
And Councilwoman Warwick, Chair of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Barbara Warwick presents Bill 1541, ordinance amending the City Code at Title IV, Public Places and Property, Article 1, Public Right-of-Way, Chapter 417, to permanently adopt the Sidewalk and Curb Repair Program to provide assistance to eligible property owners. Bill 1542, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreements, and/or amendments with the United States Army Corps of Engineers for the purpose of geophysical surveying by the USACE at Arsenal Park at no cost to the city. And Bill 1560, resolution amending Resolution 19 of 2024, which amends Resolution 156 of 2023, which provided for the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a professional services agreement or agreements with Route Smart Technologies, Inc., which provides trash and recycling routing optimization for the purchase and implementation of navigation software that will provide turn-by-turn directions to environmental service drivers by extending the term through November 30th, 2027, and by increasing the total amount by $72,707 for a total not to exceed of $247,127.
Motion to waive the rules of council so we can hear this on tomorrow's standing committee meeting.
Is there a second for Bill 1560?
Oh, sorry, yes, for 15.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill 1560 will be on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. That takes us to Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Bobby Wilson presents Bill 1543, ordinance accepting 5 new street names: Coalseam Street, Darby Street, Lucas Court, Lucas Street, and Pittrell Street in the 5th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee, The following street names were approved by CPAC in January 2025. The names listed in this ordinance shall be made official in accordance with the Pittsburgh Code, Title IV, Public Places and Property, Chapter 420, Uniform Street Naming and Addressing. And Bill 1544, ordinance accepting a new street name, Riley Street, in the 16th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee. The following street name was approved by CPAC in January 2025. The name listed in this ordinance shall be made official in accordance with the Pittsburgh Code, Title IV, Public Places and Property, Chapter 420, Uniform Street Naming and Addressing.
Myself, if we could begin with the 6 appointments.
Councilman R. Daniel Lavelle presents Bill 1546, resolution appointment of Emily Embry as a member of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2029. Bill 1547, resolution reappointment of Anna Bagwell as a member of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2029. Bill 1548, resolution appointment of Julian McLean as a member of the Gender Equity Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2028. Bill 1549, resolution appointment of Isabel Ruiz Flint as a member of the Human Relations Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2029. Bill 1550, resolution appointment of Councilmember Deborah Gross as a member of the Gender Equity Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2028. And Bill 1551, resolution appointment of Richard Morris as a member of the Human Relations Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2029.
And we need a motion to either interview or to approve.
Motion to approve. Sorry.
Second.
Sorry, couldn't get the words out.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All 6 appointments have been approved, and we have 4 communications.
Bill 1552, communication from Jake Pollock, Director of Office of Management and Budget, submitting to City Council the attached status update from the Grants Office for the week ended February 21st, 2025. Bill 1553, communication from Jake Pollock, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, submitting the City of Pittsburgh quarterly financial and performance report for the period ending December 31st, 2024. Bill 1554, communication from Jake Pollock, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, submitting a donation to the Department of Public Safety from the Pittsburgh Public Safety Supply, Inc. in the form of donated T-shirts to be worn at the Polar Plunge, valued at a price not to exceed $600. And Bill 1556, communication from Kimberly Lucas, Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, submitting a report on the sidewalk and curb repair pilot program, dated February 21st, 2025.
Need a motion to read, receive, and file?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That takes us to reports of committee for final action, beginning with Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, presenting the Committee of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilperson Erica Strasburger presents Bill 1523, report of the Committee on Finance and Law for February 19th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1489, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of James E. DePasquale for plaintiff's counsel fees and posts in connection with a litigation matter in the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $123,873.76 over 1 year. Bill 1490, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Spillman, Thomas, and Battle, PLLC, for expert legal services in connection with a litigation matter in the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $26,406.04 over 1 year. Bill 1491, Resolution amending Resolution Number 857 of 2023, effective December 27th, 2023, entitled Resolution adopting and approving the 2024 capital budget, the proposed 2024 Community Development Program, and the 2024 through 2029 Capital Improvement Program by increasing street resurfacing by $45,000 to account for the payment for a surety bond made to the City of Pittsburgh. Bill 1492, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of Una Solutions, Inc. for 1 year subscription in an amount not to exceed $18,500. And Bill 1493, Resolution to authorize and direct the incurring of non-electoral debt through the issuance of a series of general obligation bonds of the City of Pittsburgh in the maximum aggregate principal amount of $67,550,000.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when her name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required numbers of votes is passed finally, and that takes us to Councilman Anthony Coghill presenting the Committee of Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, that just couldn't be any better.
Councilman Anthony Coghill presents Bill 1524, Report of the Committee on Public Safety and Wellness for February 19th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1485, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and Director of Public Safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Center for Employment Opportunities to clean and revitalize community spaces for a sum not to exceed $456,022 over 1 year.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will aye when her name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required numbers of votes is passed finally, and that takes us to Councilwoman Barbara Ward presenting the Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Barbara Warwick presents Bill 1525, Report of the Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for February 19th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation, Bill 1494, Resolution providing for a preemption, interconnection, construction, and maintenance agreement between CSXT and the City of Pittsburgh for construction and maintenance of highway rail grade crossing warning devices consisting of automatic flashing lights and gates at the grade crossings of Tecumseh Street and Hazelwood Avenue, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $0. Bill 1495, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 466 of 2020, which authorized the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a professional services agreement with Studio Zood for professional landscape architectural services for Homewood Park infrastructure upgrades by increasing the overall cost by $176,609.60 for a new city cost not to exceed $2,041,082.30 over 1 year. Bill 1496, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 857 of 2024 effective December 27th, 2023, as entitled, Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2024 Capital Budget, the proposed 2024 Community Development Program, and the 2024 through 2029 Capital Improvement Program to decrease sport facilities by $115,170 and increase park reconstruction by $115,170. Bill 1497, Resolution amending Resolution 291 of 2024, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to execute an agreement with the Pennsylvania Resources Council in order to continue providing electronic waste collection and recycling services for city residents by extending PRC's services for 1 year to December 31st, 2025, and increasing the authorized spend by $78,750 for a new total amount not to exceed $393,750.
You've heard the reading and the title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required number of votes is passed finally. That takes us to Councilperson Bob Charlin, presenting the Committee of Human Resources.
Councilperson Robert Charlin presents Bill 1526, Report of the Committee on Human Resources for February 19th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1484, Resolution providing that the City of Pittsburgh enter into a professional services agreement and/or contracts with consultants and/or service providers for professional services in connection with civil service and MPO ETC, required assessment and evaluation of public safety candidates, and providing for payment of the cost thereof. Cost not to exceed $95,000.
You have heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required number of votes is passed finally, and it takes us to Councilman Bobby Wilson, presenting the Committee of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Bobby Wilson presents Bill 1527, Report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for February 19th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1498, Resolution amending Resolution 562 of 2024, entitled Resolution Authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of City Planning to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission for the purpose of receiving grant funds in the amount of $25,000 to develop revised historic guidelines in the Mexican War Streets Historic District. The grant requires a match from the City of Pittsburgh in the amount of $12,500 for this stated purpose, for a total project cost of $37,500 to include the Manchester District.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required numbers of votes is passed finally. And finally, Councilman Carl Mosley presenting the Committee of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Kahari Mosley presents Bill 1528, Report of the Committee on Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs for February 19th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1234, Resolution authorizing the adoption of the Manchester Chateau Transit Revitalization Investment District Phase 1 Implementation Plan and related agreements, Council District 6. Bill 1486, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of the United States Conference of Mayors for one-year membership dues in an amount not to exceed $19,840. Bill 1487, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of Allegheny League of Municipalities for one-year membership dues in an amount not to exceed $9,000. Bill 1488, Ordinance authorizing the City of Pittsburgh to enter into an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the Borough of Wilkinsburg for providing fire and emergency management services to the borough pursuant to the general local government and the local government code and the emergency management services code at a total cost not to exceed $11,933,932 over 5 years.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick? Aye. Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill having received the legal required number of votes is passed finally. That takes us to motions and resolutions. Is there anything from members? Councilwoman Smith?
Thank you. I just want to briefly mention that today, myself, Councilman Coghill, and Charlin, who have been working with the community, put in an extension for the chief, but I was willing to work on that date, and that timeline, and some of the other wording that has to go into the legislation. What I will say is that we have met with people from the community, various leaders across the city, and it was a really positive meeting, I think, that we had. And I will say Sean Carter said it on your behalf on the meeting, and Council President, and that it was a good meeting, that people just talked and said that they really would like some additional opportunity to meet the chief and to have a conversation with the acting chief as he might become the chief. And no one said that at any point that they were not supportive of the nominee, that they wanted to block the nominee, that they wanted to do anything with the nominee, but that they just wanted to have the conversation. And then we later had a meeting with Public Safety Director Schmidt, Acting Chief Ragland, and Assistant Chief Marty Devine. And during that meeting, we also reiterated what was said during that meeting, and that the willingness to try to work together to try to move this forward in a way that the community feels comfortable and that the people that work for him feel comfortable. And at no time was there anything said that was trying to be, any type of blocking any kind of appointment or anything like that. I want to be clear, I want the public to have a say and to hear and to meet with the chief, but I also realize that the final say cannot be theirs. It is between the mayor and council. And we brought that up during the meeting and said that, at no point did, I think because it's a political time and everybody's going through a lot, I don't have to like somebody to not support them or love somebody to not support. What I do here is my work. And for the reason we are down this path right now is because we've had issues with the chief. And so now we want the community to feel comfortable. And we started this with a long process that was drawn out through a national search. I'm glad that there's not a national search. I think that we need to have somebody from within. And we heard from a lot of people reasons why to have this chief, and we've also heard from people why not to have the chief. But we want to have that conversation and want them to have those conversations with them so the public feels comfortable moving forward and comfortable with our decisions and with the mayor's decision. So I just want to be very clear, at no time during any of those meetings was there anything negative. It was all very positive, and I want to thank Councilman Coghill for organizing them, although I accused him a couple times of having his own meetings. But I will say that I really think it was a positive meeting, and I think positive meetings, and the community made it very clear. In fact, during the first meeting with the community, Councilman Coghill asked the people there from the community if they would be willing to just go down to 3 meetings. They, in fact, told him that they would actually fight that they want the 6 meetings, and that they would stand by that number. So that's why we came up with the 6 meetings. It wasn't for any other purpose. Councilman Coghill then asked them if they would finish the process by the end of March. And so he tried to give them a time frame. So that's what we're going to work on with this, amendments and, that we were put forward today. So I just want people to understand this. Chief Ragland has been very patient and working through this with us, and so has everyone else. I don't want to see this a very important position dragged through any process because of a pending election. I want to make sure we're making the right choices for Pittsburgh and their safety. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Same subject? Same subject, Councilman? Yes. Councilman Coghill?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. And I want to thank Councilwoman Teresa Kill-Smith. Teresa's really helped guide my decision-making through this, and really was the person that brought the broader community together with BPEP, NAACP, all the groups that were there, neighborhood groups. And I couldn't have been happier with the way that meeting turned out. We walked out of there, and most of you know the personalities at the table there, strong personalities. But with Teresa's help and Councilman Charlin's help, we all came to a consensus as to 6 public meetings. And, when you compare it to our last chief search that cost us, close to $100,000 and over a year, it seemed arduous just to go through the 6 meetings. But in the end, I think it's better off for the person being nominated for chief, in this case, Chief Ragland. And I think it's much better off for the community. And I know the voices and the people we had at the table, they feel, now that they're involved, they feel like they're part of the process. So I think not only will it help us to determine, whether it be Chief Ragland or for us to make our decision as to who we confirm, I think it's also going to be very beneficial to Chief Ragland to see, all parts of the city, every corner of the city, as to what they expect out of our next police chief, and and what they expect out of our bureau in general. So I look forward to the meetings. Again, I really want to thank Councilwoman Kill-Smith and Charland, who was really instrumental in pulling these groups together. I think we came up with a good plan. I hope that the rest of the council will support it. We'll be there to answer any questions or have your input. Of course, we are going to want to have your input when we are in your zones in particular. So when we put it in front of the public, and I think we're on a good path, and I think it's going to help lead us in future councils into making better decisions in the future. So.
Can I just add one thing to that Chief Ragland's also looking forward to having the meetings. I want to make sure I say that.
No resistance.
Thank you. Same subject. Councilwoman.
Yeah, just to say, I think those meetings will be good because Acting Chief Ragland has come now to, we're doing our community meetings, and he's come to all but one, and it's really been great. Like, he's been fantastic. He has a lot to say, and he really explains well sort of how, the changes that are happening with policing and how we're working on our numbers and all that good stuff. So he does a really good job. So, yeah.
Thank you. Councilman Strasburger?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to call for a post agenda on older adult wellness.
Second, from the older adult.
All those in favor
oldest.
say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll work with the clerk to get that scheduled.
Thank you.
Anything else from members? If not, we do have meeting announcements. Oh, Councilman Charlin, sorry.
I apologize. So first, I would like to call for a post agenda on homelessness, so the plan for homelessness. Past the winter, we did a homelessness plan leading up to the winter, and we said that we would reconvene sometime around now. So I would like to call for that post agenda.
Take it a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll work with you to get that scheduled.
And just the other thing that I just wanted to acknowledge, we did a proclamation for it earlier. This weekend was the Southside Soup Contest. Want to unequivocally state that I'm not a fan of soup myself, but I am a fan of however many I said it was 600, but I believe that number is actually higher. People coming touring the South Side, eating soup in all of our restaurants and businesses. It was a really fun event on a cold Saturday.
And you became a fan of soup, right?
What's that?
And you became a fan of soup.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but but it was truly, a remarkable event, and just want to acknowledge the 20th year that they were able to pull this off. This was in reaction to shutting down the Southside Street Spectacular, and trying to figure out some non-alcoholic ways to celebrate in the South Side, and truly a remarkable event, and want to invite everyone down there next year. So thank you.
What was your favorite soup?
I was serving only one soup, and it was called coq de leche, chicken and leek soup from the era of the steel mills, the soup that built America, I was told.
So, well, that's why you
Very
don't
well.
like soup. Maybe you gotta try some chicken noodle.
Councilman Wilson.
Yeah, Councilman Charlotte, I passed through there and I had to drop my daughter off at an activity, and it looked pretty vibrant, and it was good to see the South Side active at a different 12 o'clock, than usual. This was noon when I passed through, but yeah, it looked like a super event. Thank you.
I hope you don't feel good about that.
Anything else from members? If not, our meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1 o'clock, council will hold an executive session on bills 1532, 33, 34, 35, 37, 38, and 39 as relate to litigation. Also this afternoon at 2:30, council will hold a cablecast post agenda on human trafficking, chaired by Councilwoman Teresa Cale Smith. Tomorrow, Wednesday, February 26th at 10 a.m., council will meet with their standing committee. We'll have our standing committee meeting. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Also on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, council will hold a cablecast post agenda discussion on snow removal in the city of Pittsburgh, chaired by Councilwoman Teresa Cale Smith. To register to speak at this meeting, please fill up the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage by the deadline. You may also call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. With that, we need a motion. Everyone was actually here. We need a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.